Tonight, Akron, Ohio is under a state of emergency in the wake of protest over the fatal police shooting of a black man. 25-year-old Jayland Walker was shot at least 60 times after fleeing what police said was supposed to be a routine traffic stop.
On June 27, 2022, a 25-year-old black man suffered at least 60 wounds when police officers fatally shot him following a high-speed chase during which the man allegedly fired a gun out of the driver's side window, authorities said. Jayland Walker was unarmed at the time he was killed, though a gun was allegedly recovered from his car after the shooting, Akron, Ohio police chief says. When police released large portions of body camera videos from 13 officers who were at the scene, prompted more questions about Walker's death on June 27. The shooting remains under investigation by the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations. According to the chief, 8 police officers fired their weapons following the vehicle pursuit and the short foot chase, believing Walker was turning towards them, reaching in his waist and moving in a firing position. While a medical examiner's report found Walker suffered at least 60 wounds, the medical examiner is still working to determine how many times he was shot, in which how many were entrance wounds and how many were exit wounds. The incident began around 12:30 a.m. on June 27th, when police say Walker fled as officers attempted to initiate a traffic stop for traffic and equipment violations. About 40 seconds after the pursuit began, police say a gunshot was fired from Walker's vehicle, allegedly. That changes the whole nature of the traffic stop, said the chief. It went from being a routine traffic stop to now a public safety issue, and then a pursuit continued. After several minutes, Walker got out of his car and fled on foot, police said. Officers deployed tasers, said the chief, but they were unsuccessful in subduing Walker. The incident ended soon after when, according to the police timeline, Walker stopped and quickly turned towards the officers, and the officers discharged their weapons. At least one officer can be heard near the end of the videos that were released, shouting, "Cease fire." The 8 officers, who the chief said were directly involved in the shooting, have all been placed on a paid administrative leave per the police department policy. According to the information released by the city, 7 of the officers were white and 1 was black. The video released by the police includes footage from the body-worn cameras of 13 officers who were at the scene. About 40 seconds after Walker drove away from the police, a sound consistent with a gunshot can be heard, allegedly, on the body-worn cameras of the officers. Police also said a flash of light could be seen on the driver's side of the car at the time of the sound, allegedly. The chief said officers retrieved the shell casing near the scene of the attempted traffic stop that was consistent with the firearm that Mr. Walker had in the vehicle. Toward the end of the pursuit, some of the footage shows the silver car Walker was driving stopping before he begins to exit the driver's side of the vehicle. At least one officer shouts, "Let me see your hands," and tells him not to move. The video shows Walker getting back into the car, which slowly moves forward. He is then seen getting out of the passenger side door and running from officers. The police narration of the video says officers attempted to safely take the suspect into custody by deploying their tasers. Officers reacted by discharging their firearms, striking the suspect. Dozens of gunshots are heard after 7 seconds as officers fire at Walker, a number of videos show. The shooting ends after at least one officer shouts, "Cease fire," 3 times. Police said the images of Walker as he was shot have been blurred at the request of the family, but in some of the footage, he appears to be on the ground as gunshots continue. I find myself to say this, because I could keep going, but at some point, man, you gotta ask yourself, is this avoidable? You know what I'm saying? And if it is avoidable, at what point is it avoidable? I'm not saying he fired a shot and that was the cause of his demise. I'm not saying he didn't do it. But what I will say is, you shouldn't even be in this situation. You never know what's gonna happen once you're in police custody. And it's time and time again, we see it all the time. Once the police get up on you, it's a coin flip. You get what I'm saying? So, maybe it could have been different if Jayland would have reacted different. But at the same time, man, 60 shots is excessive. I mean, it is excessive. That's a lot of shots. And if it was my family, I can't say, I don't know how I would act with that. I don't know how I would act. That's why they rioting right now. But, these police, man, they take their job serious, and some of them forget that they are regular people just like us. So when you got all of these white officers chasing down a black man, and one of them say, oh, they seen a gunshot, we still got to find out if that's true. But if one of them say they seen a gunshot and it goes across the radio, oh man, I mean, like, it's over with. Can you imagine if, let's say a gunshot did happen and it was, an accident. At that point, he's like, man, at that point, he already know it's over with. I think they would have fired that many shots whether he got out of the car or stayed in the car, because they were trigger happy. I mean, 60 shots. 60 shots with handguns. I don't know, man. Hey, look, man, my condolences go out to Walker's family. I hope that you find healing. We're gonna keep track of this story here, and hopefully justice will be served. I don't know what kind of justice is gonna be served in this situation, but hopefully healing comes, and maybe this is something that we can learn from as a people. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, peace. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all go follow my Instagram. We putting in work.